Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be making a mixed vegetable pickling. We're going to be using a 1-quart mason jar, and hopefully this will come out. We're going to be using green bean. Well, you can't see them in the bag. We're going to be using green beans, okra, green tomatoes, yellow squash, and jalapenos are what we're going to be pickling. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make our brine, which is basically a salt solution in which your salt is used to kill the bacteria and things that we don't want. The enzymes and yeast and bacteria that we do want will survive through the salt and do the contribute to the pickling process. But we're going to do our brine first. We're going to set up our brine. I've got a beaker, approximately 500 milliliters of water, of hot water, so everything dissolves. I am going to be adding to that right at a half cup of kosher, just over-the-counter kosher salt. We're going to dump this into our beaker. I'm going to get it stirred. Then I'm going to put an eighth of a cup of hot sauce. This particular one is kombucha. You can use any kind of hot sauce that blows your hair back. And we're going to just put that in. And get as much of this out as we can. Okay. I'm going to keep stirring. I'm also going to add some mustard powder. And mustard powder, I'm just going to sprinkle it in. This is a brand new thing of mustard powder. A little bit of mustard powder in. Just kind of help out the hot sauce and the brine. These are going to add flavor. Just you know what? Okay, that looks like a decent amount of. Actually, we're going to do it this way. We're going to cheat. Go ahead and put that in there. And we'll stir our mustard seed in. Not our mustard seed, our mustard powder. And because this is hot water, I wanted the hot water so everything dissolves and becomes basically forms a solution. But at this temperature that it is now, it will kill off everything. Kill off all the bacteria, kill off everything. All the good and the bad, everything I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another 500 milliliters of cold water. This is going to give me 1,000 milliliters of brine. Get this all stirred good. Now that we've got our brine done, we're going to go ahead and prepare our vegetables. The first thing we're going to do is our green tomatoes. I picked these up at HEB. They're like 50 cents a piece. Picked up 4 of them. Get the leaves off them. They're packed like this for freshness. If you've ever grown tomatoes, you know they don't grow with the leaves. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead. Well, a bit of trivia: the tomato plant itself. Bit trivia. Learn how to talk here. The tomato plant itself is a member of the nightshade family. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this here and here and here. I cut these down just a little bit smaller. Okay. I'll get these prepared. And I'll be back in a minute after I get all of my tomatoes cut up. Actually, I think we're only going to use, because we're using so many other fruits, or so many other vegetables, excuse me, that I'm going to go ahead and just use 2 green tomatoes. The other 2 will go out and become chicken food. Chickens will convert them into eggs. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take our mason jar, and we're going to put some dill in the bottom. This too is a brand new thing of dill weed. HEB was out of the fresh dill weed, so I went with what they had. So we'll go ahead and put our dill weed in. We'll be quite liberal with the dill weed. This is going to give us that pickly taste. Take a dill weed. We'll put a fair amount. Some more in. There we go. Get that dill weed in there. Then we're going to take and put our tomatoes in. Okay. Now we're going to prepare our jalapenos. Here. Cut the tip and stuff off. We'll cut these guys into medallions. We may not get the squash in. It looks like we're running out of room. I misjudged the amount of room I have, so we may not get the squash in. Go ahead and keep it at 2 jalapenos. So, and we got our beans. Basically, what we're going to do with our beans. I'm not going to use all of these beans. I knew when I bought the beans that I wasn't going to use all of them simply because the chickens, I mainly get these for the chickens. They're cheap. And I figured, they'll be good for pickling. So let's set this aside. This scrap out of here. And we'll take our beans, get the ends off. And that's just simply because the ends are kind of wonky, kind of rotty. So go ahead and take these. What was this guy? Put these guys in here like this. We may be able to get a little bit of squash in there. Add in there like that. And we'll do 2 okras. So, yeah, it's looking more and more like I misjudged space. So, cut these into medallions. Then we'll take this here. We'll see if we should be able to get a little bit of squash in there. Take our squash, cut the end off, and both of the chickens. And we'll cut us some medallions. All right, see what we got. Ooh. Looks like we'll be able to get everything fit in there. It's going to be tight. There we go. Yeah. So this is what we got so far. Now we'll go back to the brine. And this is where all the magic happens. Take our brine. We just fill it up. And because we don't want any air, air is bad at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill my mason jar completely to the top. I'm going to leave 0 airspace. I'm going to take my lid, because this fits flat across the top of it, and add just a little bit more. Take back my knife, tap it a little bit. Make sure we get all the air that we can out of here. Then this here part of the lid is going to press those down in there under the brine. And we're going to tighten this down, and we're going to back it up so it breathes. We want it to vent out the carbon dioxide. It's going to produce carbon dioxide, and we want the carbon dioxide to vent out. We don't want to have this explode. So this is what we're looking at right now. Oop. Habit. So in about a week and a half, we'll pull out, look at it, see how it's coming. But we will probably allow this to ferment for about a month, maybe even a little bit longer. So Until next time, love, peace, and better brewing.